Okay, today's we're gonna start about the machine learning. Okay, so what is machine learning? First is a machine learning is a branch of AI. That means it is a part of AI. Okay, then what does it means? Machine learning means how can you make the system or machine intelligent by using some algorithms or techniques, anything. Okay, your main motto is to improve the machine automatically learn the things. Okay, that is machine learning. Okay, understood. Next is why machine learning is important. Okay, machine learning is important because it's gives enterprise trends. Okay, enterprise trends means suppose you can buy a watch from Amazon or Flipkart, any website. Okay, it will gradually shown in you in YouTube, Instagram, or your Facebook feeds like a suggestion. Okay, that is the what you are interested to buy a watch, so it gives scroll in your YouTube feed, Facebook feed, or Instagram feed. Okay, that's a main important example of your machine learning. Okay, next is uh, why machine learning is important is over. Then let's go to the main part, types of machine learning. Okay, here is the types of machine learning. There is mainly four machine learning is there. One is your supervised, second one is your unsupervised, third one is your semi supervised, fourth one is your reinforcement learning. Okay, so first one is supervised learning. Supervised learning means you need a supervision. Okay, like me, I am your teacher. Okay, I have your attend like your supervision is in my control. Okay, in my hand. So in supervised learning, a supervisor is needed, and the machine is trained by using that's memory, supervisor memory. Okay. Next is your unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning means no need of any supervisor. It automatically learn anything, any algorithm, and the it will be intelligent by automatically. No need of any supervision. Semi supervised learning is what? Here it is a mix of. Okay. Here is the mix of two preceding types, that is your supervised and your unsupervised. It is a combination of both supervised and unsupervised learning. Okay. And here a main statement is there, what the data type the data scientists may feed an algorithm mostly labeled data. Labeled data means if a data is there, if it is labeled, that means you have know the what is the motto of the data. Suppose I have different types of colors. Okay, rainbow. Okay, so I have found that the rainbow has 7 colors. If there is specific colors are there. Okay, so you have to make that these are the specific colors. If there is present, then that is your rainbow. Okay, so you know the what data you want and what is your output. So label data means the scientists mostly use the label data in your semi supervised learning, but it develop its own understanding. But how it works in own understanding. No need of algorithm, no need of any techniques you have to suggest the machine. It learns itself. Okay, next is your reinforcement learning. What is the meaning of reinforcement learning? Okay, here is a receiving rewards or penalties. Okay, it is a penalty based or reward based. Reinforcement learning is basically a reward based or penalty based machine learning algorithm. Okay, So what is that? We will give that in next parts. Okay, next session. Okay. Next is why we use unsupervised learning. Okay. Okay. So unsupervised learning is used for unlabeled data. I have told about that the labeled data. What is labeled data? What is unlabeled data? That means you do not know about the data. What data is that? Okay. So that is your unlabeled data. So why we use unsupervised learning? Unsupervised learning is easy to use. You can find the data set easily. Okay. And labeled data is finding is very difficult. But unlabeled data is you find anywhere. Okay. That's why we use the unsupervised learning. Okay. Here is a very good example of your unsupervised learning. Okay. Here is different types of fruits are there. Here is a clustering technique is implemented. Okay. Here is a raw data. Okay. Raw data means there is no algorithms, no techniques, nothing is applied. Okay. So here is a raw data is here. Okay. By giving some algorithm, there is different type of clustering algorithm is there like k-means. Okay. And your k-medoid, different type of clustering algorithms are there. Okay, suppose there is some fruits. Here is fruits like apple and your strawberries, pears. Okay, here some algorithm is applied here. Okay, by that it can be divided into different groups. Okay, that is your output. So in unsupervised learning, what is the main motto here? That the from the raw data, by using some algorithm, it detects some, identifies some hidden patterns. Like suppose here the apple is red in color, circle in shape. Okay, this is a pattern it finds and make them in a one group. Okay, make them in a one group. And second is pears are yellow in color. Okay, and shape is different from the apple. Okay, and it makes in a different group. And at last in strawberries are another group. So it classify them into separate group. Okay, but they don't know about the prior knowledge. That means prior knowledge means they do not know about this is the apple, this is the pears, this is the strawberries. Three different fruits are there. The machine is doesn't know. Okay, it divides them into three groups and it is correct. That's the output. Okay, so clear this one. Okay, next is your why. Okay, why is unsupervised learning is there? Okay, advantages of unsupervised learning. Okay, there is different very much advantages is there and disadvantages is also there. Okay, unsupervised learning is more complex tasks as compared to supervised learning, because in unsupervised learning we do not have labeled input data. Okay, so we can use unsupervised learning in complex tasks. Okay, like it using for very different tasks we can use the unsupervised learning because it doesn't need any labeled data. Okay, next is here it is easy to use because unlabeled data is finding is very easy. Okay, but disadvantage is that it is not accurate as compared to your supervised learning. Okay, and supervised learning is doesn't have corresponding output. Okay, that means you cannot find the sorry, you cannot unsupervised learning is what it cannot gives you what directly output. It gives some takes some time to give you that output. Okay. Okay. So, unsupervised learning is strictly more difficult than the supervised learning as it doesn't have corresponding output, because you do not know the unsupervised learning doesn't know the what is the output what you want. Like for example, if you have the data, rainbow data, okay, you do not know the, you have to find the rainbow, okay, the output is not there, okay, so you have difficult to make using the unsupervised learning. And last one is your accuracy, because you have learned them automatically, no supervision is there, so it is very difficult for unsupervised learning to understand the thing. Okay, so next is your, sorry, sorry, just a minute. Hmm. Okay, next is your, okay, next is your supervised learning and unsupervised learning difference. Okay, so I have discussed more about the supervised learning and unsupervised learning. Supervised learning is a need some supervision. Unsupervised learning is doesn't need any supervision. Second one is your goal. Supervised learning main goal is to predict the, classify the based on the input, okay, but unsupervised there is no structure, no output, so it have to find out the patterns and structures of your data, okay. And here supervised using your labeled data and unsupervised using your unlabeled data. Next one is your human supervision. I have told you before that the supervised learning is needed one supervisor. In unsupervised learning, it doesn't need any supervisor. Okay. There is, this is a main point like regression and classification. Okay. Um, Regression and classification means it is a very important part, okay, we'll discuss in later. Okay, in supervised there is regression classification techniques, okay, like classification you can say naive based classification, okay, there is different classification techniques are there. And here clustering, association, dimensionality reduction, okay. Clustering, you have said that the K means clustering, okay, and association, like your FE tree, okay, and dimensional reduction, PCA, different type of algorithms are there. We will discuss in later on. Okay, next is your supervised machine learning methods are computational simple, okay. This is very easy to compute it, okay. Means you have to calculate is very simple, but here is very complex. Here it is written some technique, linear regression, okay, sorry, there is some techniques here written is linear regression, k nearest neighbor, okay. Some techniques are in use in supervised and here is unsupervised, okay. Next is your accuracy. Accuracy, I have told the supervised machine learning has the highest accuracy and unsupervised is less accuracy. And applications where it is used, image classification, sentiment analysis, okay, recommendation systems, okay, customer segmentation, anomaly detection, recommendation engines in NLP, okay. These are the main important applications of your machine supervised and unsupervised learning. Next, what last, this is the last part of your slides, I think. Reinforcement learning, okay. You have learned about supervised, unsupervised, And your last one is your reinforcement. Semi-supervised is not in your syllabus, and semi-supervised is not in use right now, but it will be in use in future. But right now reinforcement learning is very, very, very important. Okay, reinforcement learning is a what I have told that you need to make the system or machine that you give some rewards or penalty to learn that thing. Okay, to learn something you have to give some rewards or penalty. Okay, for example, there is example like here is the different applications are there. Okay, uh, here is different application that is your robotics, game playing, autonomous vehicles. Okay, autonomous vehicles, you can give example that are your Tesla. Okay, Tesla is a one of your example of automated vehicle. Okay, personalized recommendations. Okay, these are your reinforcement learning examples. Okay, and there is two types of reinforcement learning. I have discussed about that. What are they? Positive and your negative. What is positive reinforcement learning? Here it is written that it is defined as when an event occurs due to particular behavior increase the strength and frequency of the behavior. In other words, it has a positive effect on behavior. Okay. Positive reinforcement learning means positive behavior. Like you, what I can give you an example. Okay. Suppose you have a data set of a dog. Okay, a dog have different behaviors. Okay, you take from the positive behaviors, like if you give some food, it can do the this work, sit. Okay, if you give the treats for moving, it can move. Okay, so that is your positive behavior. By taking that positive behaviors, your accuracy, your frequency, you can improve your system. That is your positive reinforcement. And the second one is your negative reinforcement. Negative reinforcement learning means negative condition. If suppose you have giving them the treats regularly, but someday you have stopped them. Okay, so what is the dog's reaction? What negative reaction it gives? Okay, that is your negative reinforcement learning. Okay, so these are the main meanings of. Okay, next, the last slide for the today's session. Okay, how reinforcement learning is works. Okay, you have learned that what is reinforcement learning, what are the types. Now is the turn of how reinforcement learning is worked. For example, here a cat is sitting. Okay, what, a cat is sitting. Okay, so reinforcement learning, how it works. Cat doesn't understand what you are telling. You tell him English or Urdu, any language you have tell, but she cannot understand what that means. Okay, but if you give them some reward, okay, and you give some what position. Hey cat, please come to me. I will give you the reward. Okay, fish. I will give you the fish. Okay. So what is that? That is your positive behavior of your cat. That it will, from sitting position, it will come to you and walk to you. Okay, for your reward. Okay, for getting some reward, it will come from sitting position to to walking position. Okay, so that is the reinforcement learning. You make the cat agent to move by using the some reward technique. Okay, that is your reinforcement learning, by using some penalties or your rewards to learn them something. That is the reinforcement learning. Okay, that's the main part of your reinforcement learning. Clear, everyone? Next, thank you, everyone. That is it. This is the end of your session. Thank you, everyone.